The morning sun rose over Harmony Station, painting the sky in shades of purple and orange. The colors were different from Earth's sky, but Hay had grown used to them over the years. She stood in her botanical garden, checking the tomato plants that grew in neat rows under the transparent dome. These plants came from Earth seeds, and they reminded her of home. "Mom, Mom, look!" His voice called out from across the garden. Hay turned to see her son running toward her, his small feet kicking up dust from the walking path. He was 6 years old, with bright eyes and a smile that never seemed to fade. Behind him, moving at a much slower pace, was Mr. Whiskers. The large orange cat walked with the dignity of someone who knew he was important. "What is it, sweetheart?" Hay asked, kneeling down as reached her. Mr. Whiskers caught a bug, a real New Haven bug, held out his hand. In his palm was a small blue insect, still alive but clearly dazed. He didn't eat it, he just wanted to show me. Hay smiled. Mr. Whiskers was always hunting something. Even here, millions of miles from Earth, the cat's instincts never changed. "That's very nice of him. Now let the bug go so it can fly home." Opened his hand and the insect buzzed away. Mr. Whiskers watched it go with golden eyes, his tail flicking once in satisfaction. The colony of Harmony Station was small. Only 200 humans lived here, spread across 3 habitat domes connected by tunnels. They had come to New Haven 15 years ago, back when Hay was younger and full of dreams about building a new world. Now she had, and her dreams were simpler. She wanted him to grow up safe and happy. The garden dome was Hay's special place. She grew food for the colony, vegetables, fruits, and herbs that tasted like Earth. Other colonists said her tomatoes were the best in 3 star systems. Hay didn't know about that, but she was proud of her work. Her brother stopped by around midday. He wore the gray uniform of colony security, though it was mostly for show. Nothing dangerous ever happened on Harmony Station. The worst problems they faced were broken water recyclers or arguments about whose turn it was to clean the common areas. "Afternoon," Hay said, accepting a cup of cold tea. "Keeping you busy?" "Always," Hay replied with a laugh. She watched her son playing with Mr. Whiskers near the far end of the dome. The cat lay on his back while gently rubbed his belly. "He has more energy than I know what to do with." His face grew serious. "We had visitors this morning, traders from the merchant ship that docked yesterday. They brought news." They were one of 3 alien species that regularly visited Harmony Station. They looked like large insects, with 6 legs and shimmering wings, but they were friendly enough. They traded machine parts and medical supplies for human food and art. "What kind of news?" Hay asked. "They say there are hunters in nearby star systems," said quietly. "They are worried. They say they collect specimens from primitive worlds." Hay felt a cold touch of fear. She had heard of they were hunters and slavers, creatures from a harsh world who preyed on weaker species, but they had never come to New Haven before. "Should we be concerned?" she asked. Shrugged, "They think so, but we have defensive systems. Shields, scanners, warning satellites in orbit. If any ship approaches without permission, we'll know long before they arrive." He paused. "Still, I'm increasing patrols just to be safe." "Good," Hay said, though she didn't feel entirely comforted. She looked at again. He was so small, so innocent. The galaxy was a big place, full of wonders and dangers. She wanted to protect him from all of it. That evening, the colony held a community dinner in the main dome. It was something they did once a week, where everyone brought food and shared stories. Hay brought her famous tomato salad, sat with the other children, laughing and playing games while the adults talked. One of the traders attended the dinner. His name was Tixha, and he spoke human language with a clicking accent. He sat at a special table designed for his insect body. "Your food is wonderful," Tixha said to Hay. "Do not taste things the way humans do, but I can appreciate the craftsmanship." "Thank you," Hay said. "My brother tells me you're worried about the Tixha's antennae twitched. In body language, this meant concern. Yes, they are dangerous. They see humans as fragile, easy prey. Your species comes from a gentle world, or so they believe. Earth isn't that gentle, Hay said, feeling slightly defensive. Perhaps not to humans, Tixha replied. But compared to most worlds in the galaxy, Earth is paradise. Mild gravity, comfortable temperatures. Your predators are small and manageable. They come from a world where everything fights to survive. They do not understand species like yours. Hay wanted to argue, but she couldn't. Humans were not warriors. They were farmers, scientists, artists. They had come to the stars seeking peace and knowledge, not conflict. Maybe they were right to worry. After dinner, Hay took home to their small apartment in the residential section. She gave him a bath, read him a story, and tucked him into bed. Mr. Whiskers jumped onto the bed and curled up its feet, purring softly. "Mom," said sleepily, "why do aliens think humans are weak?" Hay blinked in surprise. "Where did you hear that?" "I heard some grown-ups talking at dinner. They said aliens think we're soft." Hay sat on the edge of the bed and stroked her son's hair. "Some aliens don't understand us yet. They look at us and see that we're not as strong or as big as them, but humans have other strengths. We're clever, we're kind, we work together. That makes us strong in different ways." "And we have Mr. Whiskers," said, reaching down to pet the cat. "He protects us." Hay smiled. Mr. Whiskers was just a cat, 10 pounds of fur and attitude. But too, he was a guardian. "Yes, we have Mr. Whiskers. Now sleep, sweetheart. Tomorrow is another day." She kissed his forehead and turned off the lights. As she left the room, she glanced back. In the darkness, Mr. Whiskers' eyes gleamed like twin golden coins, watching, always watching. Hay didn't know it then, but those eyes would soon be the difference between life and death. The galaxy was about to learn something important about Earth and the creatures that came from it. But that lesson would come with a price, and it would be paid in blood. For now, Harmony Station slept peacefully under alien stars, unaware of the danger approaching from the darkness of space. The ship came in darkness, moving between the stars like a shadow with teeth. Its hull was black, designed to absorb sensor scans and reflect nothing back. Inside the ship, prepared for the hunt. He was tall, nearly 9 feet when he stood at full height. His body was covered in dark green scales that were harder than steel. His hands ended in claws that could tear through metal doors. His mouth held rows of sharp teeth designed for ripping flesh. On his home world was considered an average warrior. Here, among the soft species of the galaxy, he was a nightmare. Studied the information on his display screen. Harmony Station, a human colony. Humans were rare on the frontier, and that made them valuable. A live human specimen could be sold for enough credits to buy a small ship. A human child would be worth even more. Collectors across the galaxy wanted exotic creatures, and humans were very exotic indeed. The species data described humans as fragile, low bone density, weak muscles, slow reflexes. They came from a world with gentle gravity and few natural predators. They had reached the stars through cleverness, not strength. They were perfect prey. Stealth systems allowed him to bypass the orbital satellites without detection. The colony's defenses were designed to stop ships, not a single infiltrator. He landed his small shuttle in the wilderness beyond the domes, in a rocky area where scanners couldn't distinguish his heat signature from the natural hot springs. He moved through the night toward the colony, using natural cover and electronic countermeasures. The human security systems were basic. They watched for approaching ships and large movements, not for a trained hunter moving with purpose. Had done this dozens of times on other worlds. It was always the same. Inside the security office, reviewed the daily reports. Everything was normal. The trading ship had departed that afternoon, carrying a cargo hold full of human vegetables and artwork. The colony's life support systems were running smoothly. The weekly system check showed no problems. He should have felt relaxed, but something bothered him. Maybe it was what the had said about maybe it was just instinct. Either way, decided to do an extra patrol before going home. In the residential dome, Hay was already asleep. She had worked all day in the gardens, and exhaustion had pulled her into deep slumber. In the room next to hers, slept peacefully, his chest rising and falling with steady breaths. Mr. Whiskers lay curled on the bed, his body warm against the boy's feet. The cat's ears twitched. Something had changed in the air, a sound too quiet for human ears but clear to a creature evolved to hear mice moving through grass. Mr. Whiskers lifted his head, golden eyes opening fully. He didn't move otherwise. Not yet. Reached the garden dome just after midnight. The transparent structure glowed softly with artificial moonlight, designed to help earth plants grow properly. Inside, he could see rows of plants and walking paths. More importantly, he saw thermal signatures on his scanner. 2 humans in the residential section, both asleep. Perfect. He used a small cutting tool to slice through the dome's emergency seal. The material was designed to repair itself, but moved through the opening before it could close. Inside, he breathed the processed air and wrinkled his nose. It smelled of growing things, green and alive. On his world, such smells meant weakness. The lock on the residential section took 30 seconds to bypass. Human security was laughably simple. Slipped inside, moving down the corridor with careful steps. His claws clicked softly on the metal floor. He found the right door and opened it. The apartment was small and clean. Eyes designed for hunting in darkness saw everything clearly. There was a main room with furniture designed for human comfort, a small kitchen area, 2 bedrooms. In one bedroom, an adult human female slept, in the other his prize. The human child was tiny, barely more than a baby by standards. He would be easy to carry. Moved into the room, his claws already reaching for the small body. Then he noticed the creature on the bed. It was small and furry with orange and white coloring. Some kind of mammal, probably a pet. Had seen many species keep companion animals. They were usually harmless, bred to be gentle and friendly. This one was watching him with bright golden eyes. Ignored it. The creature was barely the size of his foot. Even if it attacked, it would be like being bitten by a bug. He reached toward the sleeping child. Mr. Whiskers stood up. The cat's movement was smooth and deliberate. He placed himself between and, his body tensing. The fur along his spine began to rise, making him look larger. His tail puffed out to 3 times its normal size. His ears flattened against his head. Paused, amused. The tiny creature was trying to appear threatening. It was almost funny. He had fought creatures 10 times its size and killed them easily. This pet would not stop him. He reached past the cat toward the child. Mr. Whiskers hissed. The sound was sharp and angry, a warning from deep in the cat's throat. It made stir in his sleep, but the boy didn't wake. His patience ended. He moved his hand to swat the small creature aside. Mr. Whiskers attacked. The cat moved faster than thought possible. One moment he was standing still, the next he was a blur of fur and fury. Claws extended, teeth bared, he launched himself at its face. Jerked back instinctively. The cat's claws raked across his snout, leaving 4 parallel cuts that burned like fire. Green blood, the color of deep forests, dripped onto the floor. Growled, a sound that would have made most creatures flee in terror. Mr. Whiskers didn't flee. He landed, spun, and attacked again. This time the cat went for his reaching hand. Teeth that could crunch through bird bones sank into the soft tissue between the hunter's fingers, yanked his hand back with a roar of pain and anger. The cat released and immediately struck again, this time its leg. Tried to grab the creature, but it was too fast. His claws closed on empty air. The cat was already moving, circling, striking from a different angle. Claws found the gap in its armor plating near his knee. More burning pain, more blood. On the bed, woke up. He saw the huge alien in his room, saw the blood, saw Mr. Whiskers fighting. The boy screamed. The scream echoed through the apartment and into the corridor beyond. Hay woke instantly, her mother's instincts screaming danger. She burst into his room and saw a nightmare, a massive reptilian creature in her son's bedroom, bleeding from multiple wounds, trying to fight off her cat. She screamed, running toward him. Turned toward the new threat, momentarily distracted. That was a mistake. Mr. Whiskers used the opening to leap onto his back. The cat's claws dug into the softer scales at the base of the hunter's neck, searching for vital arteries. His teeth found the edge of his ear and bit down hard. Roared again, this time in genuine pain and confusion. He reached back to grab the creature, but the cat was too close to his body, clinging with all four paws. Every time moved, the claws dug deeper. Alarms began blaring throughout the colony. Hay's scream had triggered audio sensors. In the security office, saw the alerts and ran, grabbing his weapon. Other security officers followed. In his bedroom, Hay grabbed her son and pulled him away from the scene. She shielded his body with her own, watching in horror and amazement as Mr. Whiskers fought a creature 20 times his size. Finally managed to grab the cat and throw him against the wall. Mr. Whiskers hit hard but landed on his feet, the way cats always do. He was breathing heavily now, his fur matted with green blood. But his eyes were still sharp, still focused. He positioned himself between and the humans again. For the first time in his hunting career, felt something he had not experienced in many years. He felt uncertain. This tiny creature should have been easy to kill. Instead, it had wounded him multiple times. His face burned with pain. His hand was bleeding freely. His pride was damaged even more than his body. The sound of running footsteps echoed in the corridor. Human voices shouted commands, made a decision. The hunt had failed. It was time to retreat. He turned toward the door, but Mr. Whiskers attacked again. The cat wasn't letting him leave easily. Claws raked across his leg one more time as he pushed past the small guardian. Burst through the door, weapon raised, just in time to see a massive alien staggering away from his nephew's room. The creature was bleeding from numerous wounds, moving with obvious pain. Behind it, hissing and spitting, was Mr. Whiskers. The colony's security team would later say they captured the intruder. The truth was simpler. Surrendered because he was wounded, confused, and completely unprepared for what had just happened. A 10-pound house cat had defeated a hunter. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. Secured in the detention cell with 3 other security officers watching, the hunter sat on the metal bench, his wounds still bleeding. He had stopped fighting after the capture. Now he just stared at the walls with eyes that held confusion and something that might have been shame. In the medical center, Dr. Bow examined Mr. Whiskers. The cat lay on the examination table, tired but alert. His breathing was elevated and his pupils were still wide from the fight, but otherwise he seemed fine. "Remarkable," Dr. Bow said, running a scanner over the cat's body. "No broken bones, no internal injuries, a few strained muscles, but that's all. He'll be fine in a day or 2. Hay held close while they watched. Her son hadn't spoken since the attack. He just clutched his mother and stared at Mr. Whiskers with wide eyes. "He saved," Hay said quietly. "That thing would have taken him." Dr. Bow nodded. "Yes, the cat certainly fought hard." She looked at her scanner again, confused. "I'm seeing elevated stress hormones, but not as high as I would expect. It's as if fighting came naturally to him, as if his body was designed for it." "He's just a cat," Hay said. "Is he?" Dr. Bow asked, but she didn't elaborate. In the detention area stood outside cell. The hunter was almost twice his height and probably 4 times his weight. His scales looked like armor. His claws could tear through metal. Yet he had been driven back by a house pet. "Why did you come here?" asked. Didn't answer at first. When he finally spoke, his voice was deep and rough, like stones grinding together. "The child. Human specimens are valuable. You were going to kidnap my nephew." Yes, there was no shame in his voice. This was simply what he did. Humans are weak, easy prey, the data said so. Felt anger rise in his chest, but he controlled it. "You don't look like you caught easy prey. What happened?" His eyes focused on the small creature, the orange one. "What is it?" "A cat, a pet, an animal we keep for companionship." "That is not possible," said. "No pet fights like that. It was fast, faster than anything I have fought before. It knew where to strike. It targeted weak points with precision, and it did not stop. Even when I threw it, it came back." He touched the wounds on his face. "What kind of world creates such creatures as companions?" Didn't have an answer. He left the cell and made several calls. By morning, help would arrive from the nearest Alliance station. They would take and decide his punishment, but first needed to understand what had happened. He found Dr. Bow in her office, reviewing data on her computer. "Can I see the security footage?" he asked. "I've been watching it," she replied, turning the screen so he could see. "Look." The footage showed his bedroom from the corridor camera, but the angle captured part of the room through the open door. Watched as entered. He saw Mr. Whiskers stand up. He saw the cat position himself between the hunter and the child. Then the fight began. Even in the low-quality footage, the cat's speed was obvious. He moved in ways that seemed impossible. His body twisted in midair. His strikes were precise and targeted. Every movement had purpose. "I've watched this 15 times, Dr. Bow said. The cat never wastes motion. Every attack targets a vulnerable spot, the face, the hands, the joints, and watch here." She pointed to a moment when tried to grab the cat. "He anticipates the hunter's movements. He's not just reacting, he's thinking ahead." Watched the rest of the footage in silence. When finally retreated, bleeding and beaten, Mr. Whiskers pursued him to the door. Even exhausted, the cat didn't give up his guard position until the threat was completely gone. "That's not normal pet behavior," said. "No," Dr. Bow agreed. "That's predator behavior, hunting behavior. The cat fought like a creature born to kill. But he's gentle with. He lets the boy play with him. He purrs and sleeps on the bed." "I know, that's what makes this so interesting." Dr. Bow pulled up more information on her screen. "I've been researching Earth animals. Did you know that cats on Earth are considered perfect hunters? In terms of success rate, they're more effective than lions or tigers. They catch their prey 80% of the time." 80%, was shocked. "That's higher than most military operations." "Exactly, and they've been hunting for millions of years. Their bodies evolved specifically for killing prey. The flexible spine, the retractable claws, the teeth designed to sever spinal cords, the eyes that see in darkness, the ears that hear the smallest sounds. Everything about them is designed for hunting." "But they're so small," protested. "Size doesn't matter for their prey," Dr. Bow explained. "On Earth, cats hunt small animals, mice, birds, insects, creatures their own size or smaller, but the instincts and abilities remain the same regardless of target size. Mr. Whiskers fought the same way he would fight a mouse. The techniques didn't change, only the scale. Thought about this. The said humans come from a gentle world." Dr. Bow laughed, though there was no humor in it. "Did they? Let me show you something." She pulled up data about Earth, real data, not the versions most aliens saw. Earth's gravity is 15% higher than the galactic average. Earth's atmosphere has more oxygen, which allows for more aggressive life forms. Earth has extreme weather patterns, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, droughts. Earth's landmasses have hundreds of different climates, each with unique challenges. She scrolled to another section. "And the predators. Earth has predators in every size category, bacteria that cause disease, insects that inject poison, reptiles with toxic venom, fish with razor teeth, birds with tearing beaks, mammals that hunt in packs, and at the top humans who learned to hunt everything else. "We're not warriors," said. "Humans are peaceful." "Are we?" Dr. Bo asked. "Think about it. Humans spent thousands of years fighting each other. We created weapons from sticks and stones, then metals, then explosives, then atomic bombs. We only became peaceful after we nearly destroyed ourselves. And even now we train for combat. You carry a weapon, don't you?" Touch the pistol at his belt. "For emergencies." "Exactly. Humans prepare for violence even when we seek peace. That's not the behavior of prey species. That's the behavior of predators who chose to cooperate instead of compete." She pulled up an image of Mr. Whiskers. "And we domesticated other predators. We brought wolves into our homes and bred them into dogs. We caught wild cats and turned them into companions. We live with hunters and think nothing of it because we're hunters too. We just forgot it." The office door opened. Hay entered carrying. The boy was calmer now but still quiet. Behind them padded Mr. Whiskers, moving with his usual dignity despite the recent fight. "Is he really okay?" Hay asked, referring to the cat. "He's fine," Dr. Bo assured her. "Just tired. He'll want extra food and lots of sleep for the next day or two." Mr. Whiskers jumped onto Dr. Bo's desk and sat down, wrapping his tail around his paws. He looked at each human in turn, then began to clean his fur. To him, the crisis was over. Now there were important things to do, like grooming and napping. "I don't understand," Hay said. "How did he fight that thing? It was so big." Explained what Dr. Bo had told him. As he talked, Hay's expression changed from confusion to wonder to something like pride. "So Mr. Whiskers is a predator," she said finally. "Yes," Dr. Bo confirmed. "One of the best that Earth ever created. Small, efficient, perfect at his size class. When threatened, Mr. Whiskers did what millions of years of evolution taught him to do. He protected his territory and his family." Finally spoke, "Mr. Whiskers is a hero." The cat, hearing his name, looked up from his grooming. He gave a small meow as if to say obviously, then went back to cleaning his paw. Everyone in the room laughed. The tension broke. They were safe. The hunter had been captured, and their understanding of the world had changed forever. In the detention cell, sat in silence, touching his wounds and thinking. He had hunted across a dozen worlds. He had captured prey stronger and faster than himself. He had never failed before tonight. The humans called the creature a pet. The word meant nothing to. All he knew was that the small orange creature fought like a demon. It had no fear. It had no hesitation. It simply attacked with pure, focused violence. And the humans kept such creatures in their homes, as companions. What kind of species did that? What kind of world created both the humans and the thing that protected them? For the first time in his long career, wondered if he had underestimated his prey. Perhaps the data was wrong. Perhaps humans were not weak at all. Perhaps they were something much more dangerous, predators who had learned to hide their teeth. Outside, the alien sun rose over Harmony Station. The colony woke to news of the attack. People gathered in small groups, talking in hushed voices. The trader Tixha, who had stayed an extra day to repair his ship, heard the story with great interest. A cat had defeated a hunter. An Earth creature barely 10 pounds had driven back a warrior from a death world. Tixha filed this information carefully in his memory. There were traders, and information was their most valuable commodity. This story would spread across the galaxy, and when it did, the way people looked at humans and Earth would change forever. The Galactic Alliance ship arrived 3 days later. It was a medium-sized vessel, painted in the neutral gray that marked official business. On board were enforcers, diplomats, and one very interested. This name was Tixha, the same trader who had warned the colony about the... He had requested to stay and study what happened. The Alliance had agreed. After all, a hunter defeated by a pet was unusual enough to warrant investigation. Met them in the docking bay. The lead enforcer was a species that looked like walking crystals. Her name was Mora, and she moved with the authority of someone who had seen everything the galaxy had to offer. "Security officer," she said in a voice that sounded like wind chimes. "We're here for the prisoner and to investigate the incident. The report said a domestic Earth animal attacked the. Is this correct?" "Yes, ma'am," confirmed. "A cat named Mr. Whiskers. He belongs to my sister and nephew." Mora's crystalline face couldn't show expression, but her tone suggested disbelief. "A pet stopped a hunter. Stopped him, wounded him, and drove him away," said. "We have video evidence." "I want to see everything," Mora said. "The creature, the prisoner, the evidence. This is highly irregular." They brought to an interrogation room. The hunter's wounds had been treated but not fully healed. The marks on his face would leave scars. He sat in a chair designed for large species, his hands secured with restraints. Mora studied him. "You are of the hunting clans. You have 17 documented captures across 9 star systems. You are considered one of your species' best hunters." "I was," said quietly. "What happened here?" Was silent for a long moment. Then he said, "I underestimated my prey. I assumed the data was correct. I assumed humans were weak." "The data is correct," Mora said. "Humans are physically inferior to most spacefaring species. Low bone density, weak muscles, slow healing. They should be easy targets." "The data is incomplete," replied. "It does not mention the creatures they live with. It does not mention what their world created." Mara turned to, "Show me the video." They watched the security footage in silence. Mora replayed certain sections multiple times, focusing on the cat's movements. After the third viewing, she said, "I need to see this creature in person, and I need Tixha's analysis." They gathered in the colony's conference room, Mora, Tixha, Hay, Dr. Bo, and several other officials. Hay had brought in Mr. Whiskers, though she held her son close. The cat sat on the table, unconcerned by all the attention. Tixha approached carefully. His antennae twitched as he examined Mr. Whiskers. "May I scan him?" "He won't hurt you," Hay said, "unless you threaten." Tixha used a handheld scanner to examine the cat. Mr. Whiskers tolerated this for a moment, then got bored and started cleaning his paw. They studied the readings with growing fascination. "Incredible," Tixha said. "The muscle density is much higher than expected for such a small creature. The bone structure is lightweight but extremely strong. The joints have an unusual range of motion. I'm reading flexibility that exceeds most species I've studied. And the reflexes." "What about them?" Mora asked. "The neural pathways are optimized for rapid response. Based on these readings, this creature's reaction time is faster than any predator I've measured. Faster than, possibly faster than any species in the Alliance." "But he's so small," Hay protested. "Size is irrelevant," Tixha explained. "What matters is efficiency. This creature is a nearly perfect predator for his size class. Every aspect of his biology is designed for hunting. The eyes can see in low light. The ears can detect sounds humans cannot hear. The whiskers sense air currents and vibrations. The claws retract to stay sharp. The teeth are shaped to puncture and sever. Even the tongue has rough surfaces designed to strip meat from bone." Dr. Bo spoke up. "I've been researching Earth predators. Cats are just one example. Earth has thousands of predator species, each specialized for different prey and environments." "Show us," Mora said. Dr. Bo activated a holographic display. Images of Earth animals appeared in the air above the conference table. "These are wolves, pack hunters that can take down prey much larger than themselves. These are bears, omnivores with strength that exceeds most galactic species. These are sharks, aquatic predators that have existed for over 400 million years, virtually unchanged because they were already perfect." More images appeared. Birds of prey with vision 8 times sharper than humans, crocodiles with bite force that can crush bone, spiders that trap prey in silk webs, snakes that inject venom capable of killing creatures 100 times their size. The room was silent. Everyone stared at the images. "And humans live with these creatures?" Mora asked. "Humans hunt these creatures," Dr. Bo corrected. "Or rather, they did. Humans are apex predators on Earth. They reach the top of the food chain not through strength or speed, but through intelligence and cooperation. They created weapons. They hunted in groups. They learned to kill everything." She changed the display to show human history. Humans hunted megafauna to extinction, giant mammals that weighed tons. They killed them with simple weapons, spears, arrows, traps. Then they domesticated the predators that remained. They turned wolves into dogs, wild cats into pets, wild horses into transportation. They made partners out of hunters. Tixha's antennae twitched rapidly. "This explains much. When they first met humans, we thought they were strange. They seemed physically weak, but they acted with confidence. They carried weapons even in peaceful situations. They formed tight family groups with strong protective instincts. They even kept predators as companions. We didn't understand because we had no context." "What context?" asked. "Earth is a death world," Tixha said simply. The room erupted in protests. Hay stood up. "That's ridiculous. Earth is beautiful. It has forests and oceans and extreme competition," Tixha interrupted. "Let me show you the data." He activated his own display. Earth's gravity is higher than average. Not extremely so, but enough to require stronger bodies. Earth's atmosphere is oxygen-rich, which allows for larger and more aggressive life forms. Earth has dramatic seasonal changes, requiring species to adapt or die. Earth's continents have diverse climates, creating thousands of different environmental challenges. More data appeared. Earth has active plate tectonics, creating earthquakes and volcanoes. Earth has severe weather patterns, storms, floods, droughts, ice ages. Earth has an unusual moon that creates tidal forces affecting all oceanic life. And most importantly, Earth has had complex life for over 500 million years. That's twice as long as most galactic worlds. "What does that mean?" Hay asked quietly. "It means competition," Tixha explained. "When life exists for a long time in challenging conditions, it creates an evolutionary arms race. Prey becomes faster, so predators become faster. Prey becomes stronger, so predators become stronger. Prey develops defenses, so predators develop countermeasures. For 500 million years, Earth's life has been competing, evolving, improving." He gestured to Mr. Whiskers. "This cat represents millions of years of evolutionary pressure. His ancestors competed with thousands of other predator species. They had to be faster, smarter, and more efficient just to survive. The result is a creature that is nearly perfect at what it does." "But cats are friendly," said, speaking for the first time. He hugged Mr. Whiskers, who purred. "He's nice." "He's nice to you," Tixha agreed. "Because you're family, you're part of his group, but to threats, to prey, to intruders, he's a hunter. That's what makes Earth creatures so dangerous. They can be both gentle and violent. They understand social bonds and ruthless competition. They adapt." Mora spoke. "I need to file a report with the Alliance. Earth's classification needs to be updated. We've been treating humans as a soft species, which they are by physical standards. But they come from a hard world, which makes them dangerous in ways we didn't understand." "Will this cause problems for humans?" asked, worried. "No," Mora assured him, "but it will cause changes. Other species need to know that humans are not easy prey, that the creatures from Earth are more capable than they appear, that underestimating humans is a mistake." Was brought in to hear the findings. The hunter listened to everything, his expression unreadable. "Do you understand now?" Mora asked him. "You failed because you relied on incomplete data." "I failed because I am a fool," said. "I saw a small creature and assumed it was weak. I saw humans and assumed they were prey. I did not ask why a prey species would keep predators as pets. I did not question why a weak species would explore the stars with confidence. He touched the scars on his face. The small orange creature taught me humility. I will not forget the lesson. You'll be tried for attempted kidnapping, Mora said. The sentence will be severe. I know, replied. I accept this, but tell your people, tell the galaxy that Earth is not what it seems. The humans are kind and peaceful, yes, but do not mistake kindness for weakness. Do not assume peace means inability to fight. They chose to be gentle. They were not born that way. In the days that followed, the story spread through the colony. People looked at their pets with new appreciation. Dogs, cats, even the colony's pet rabbit, all of them were descendants of Earth's competitive environment. All of them carried the legacy of a world that demanded excellence just to survive. Hay found in the garden dome one evening. Mr. Whiskers was with them, chasing insects through the tomato plants. Do you think Earth is really a death world? She asked. Watch the cat play. I think Earth is exactly as deadly as it needs to be to create life that survives. We just got used to it because we grew up there. To us, it's normal. To the rest of the galaxy, it's extreme. I never thought of it that way. Neither did I, but now I understand why humans reached the stars. We had to be tough just to survive on our own planet. Space is just another challenge, and we're good at challenges. Mr. Whiskers caught a bug and brought it to, dropping it at the boy's feet. Praised the cat, who purred with satisfaction. Hunter and child, predator and family, together in the alien sunshine. Earth's reputation was about to change. The galaxy would learn to respect humans not as warriors, but as survivors from a world that tested everything. And they would learn that the creatures humans brought with them, the loyal dogs, the clever cats, the fierce pets, were just as remarkable as the humans themselves. The lesson had been taught in blood and courage. Now it would be remembered forever. 6 months after the incident, Harmony Station received more visitors than ever before. Ships came from across the sector, carrying diplomats, scientists, and curious traders. They all wanted to see the colony where a house pet had defeated a hunter. Hay found it amusing at first, then annoying, and finally just accepted it as part of life. Tourists came to the garden dome hopping to see Mr. Whiskers. The cat, unaware of his fame, continued his usual routine, sleeping, eating, hunting bugs, and playing with. The Galactic Alliance had updated Earth's classification from Class 3 Gentle World to Class 2 Competition World. The change seemed small, but it meant everything. Now when species encountered humans, they received proper information about Earth's environment and the creatures that lived there. More importantly, they received warnings. Do not threaten humans without cause. Do not underestimate their pets. Do not assume their kindness means weakness. Attended a security conference on a nearby space station. Representatives from 30 different species gathered to discuss colony protection. When entered, conversation stopped. Species who had never noticed humans before watched him carefully. An enforcer approached. You are from Harmony Station. Yes, replied. I reviewed the incident report. Very impressive. The feline creature's combat effectiveness exceeded all predictions. He was just protecting his family. Exactly, they said. That's what makes it impressive. Humans inspire such loyalty in predatory species. My people are curious how you accomplish this. Thought about it? We don't accomplish anything, we just share our lives with them. We feed them, care for them, play with them. They become part of our families. The loyalty develops naturally. Fascinating, do not keep pets. We find the concept strange, living with creatures that could harm us. Most humans don't think about it that way. We just see them as friends. This crystalline features flickered with light, a sign of deep thought. Perhaps that is why humans are successful. You make friends with hunters instead of fearing them. Similar conversations happened across the galaxy. Humans found themselves viewed with new respect. Not fear, exactly, but awareness. Other species began to understand that humans were more complex than they appeared. On Earth, the news created excitement. Hay received messages from the home planet asking about Mr. Whiskers. A children's book company wanted to write his story. A toy manufacturer wanted to create plush versions of him. Hay politely declined most requests. Mr. Whiskers was just a cat, and she wanted him to stay that way. But some changes were unavoidable. Other human colonies reported similar incidents. On New Terra, a family's dog had defended children from a collapsing building, using its strength to hold debris until rescuers arrived. On Far Haven, a pet ferret had detected a gas leak that human sensors missed, saving an entire habitat dome. These weren't dramatic fights like Mr. Whisker's battle, but they demonstrated the same truth. Earth animals were remarkably capable. They had evolved in a challenging environment, and those evolutionary advantages remained even on other worlds. Dr. Bow published a research paper titled Evolutionary Advantages in Earth Origin Species. It became one of the most downloaded scientific papers in the Alliance database. Across the galaxy read it with fascination. The paper explained how Earth's long history of complex life created highly specialized creatures. It described the various environmental pressures that shaped Earth's biodiversity, and it concluded with a warning that surprised many readers. We have only begun to understand the full capabilities of Earth's life forms. Further study is essential. Tixha the trader became an expert on Earth biology. He traveled between colonies, giving lectures and sharing information. His most popular presentation was called The Hidden Death World. Earth is dangerous in subtle ways, he would explain. It does not have the highest gravity or the most toxic atmosphere, but it has something more powerful: competition. Every creature on Earth competes with thousands of others. This creates excellence at every level. He would show images of Earth's food chains. Observe, small insects are eaten by spiders. Spiders are eaten by birds. Birds are eaten by cats. Cats compete with foxes, which compete with wolves, which compete with bears. And above all of them, humans who learn to hunt everything. This is not a single predator dominating. This is thousands of species pushing each other to evolve faster, stronger, smarter. Audiences listened with growing understanding. Earth was not a death world in the traditional sense. It did not have lethal environments that killed most life. Instead, it was a competition world that challenged all life to improve or die. Back on Harmony Station, life slowly returned to normal. His trial had concluded. He was sentenced to 20 years of service with the Alliance Border Patrol, hunting actual criminals instead of innocent people. The hunter accepted his sentence with dignity. Before leaving, he asked to see Mr. Whiskers one final time. Hay brought the cat to the detention area, though she was nervous. Came to, holding his mother's hand. Looked at the cat through the energy barrier of his cell. Mr. Whiskers stared back, tail flicking slowly. I wanted to apologize, said, to the boy and to the guardian creature. His name is Mr. Whiskers, said quietly. Mr. Whiskers, repeated carefully. I was wrong to threaten your family. I have learned my lesson. Earth creatures are not prey, they are survivors like humans. Mr. Whiskers meowed once, a sound that might have been acceptance or might have been dismissal. Then he rubbed against his leg, purring. Watch this display of affection. He is gentle with you. He loves me, said simply, and I love him. Love, said, testing the word. Do not have this concept. We have loyalty to our clan, but not love. Perhaps that is why we fail to understand humans. You bond with others, even with creatures different from yourselves. This makes you stronger than you appear. As they left, Hay realized was right. Humans did bond easily. They formed families with each other and with animals. They created communities across species. This was their strength, not physical power but social connection. A year after the incident, the Galactic Alliance held a ceremony honoring cooperation. Harmony Station was chosen as the location because of what had happened there. Species from across the galaxy attended, filling the colony's common areas. Mara the Enforcer presented awards to several individuals. When she called hey and forward, the crowd fell silent. For demonstrating the bonds between humans and Earth's creatures, Mara said, and for teaching the galaxy an important lesson about underestimating others, we present this citation of honor. She handed Hay a crystalline plaque. We also have something for Mr. Whiskers, though I understand he may not appreciate it. A small medal on a ribbon was produced. It was designed to attach to a collar. The engraving read, Guardian of Harmony Station. Hay attached it to Mr. Whisker's collar. The cat sniffed it once, decided it was not food, and promptly ignored it. The audience laughed, a sound that mixed dozens of different alien vocalizations. Spoke into the microphone, his small voice amplified. Mr. Whiskers didn't know he was being brave. He just knew I needed help. That's what family does. They help each other. The simple truth of those words resonated across species. Family helped family. That was universal. In the following months, more humans began bringing their pets to frontier colonies. Dogs, cats, birds, even reptiles. Alliance officials no longer questioned these decisions. They understood now that these animals were more than companions. They were partners evolved in Earth's challenging environment. New guidelines were established. Species visiting human colonies received information about Earth animals and their capabilities. Children across the galaxy learned about Earth's biodiversity in school. Scientists proposed expeditions to Earth to study its ecosystems directly. Hay continued her work in the Garden Dome. Grew older, still close to Mr. Whiskers. Increased security training, incorporating lessons about Earth's evolutionary advantages. One evening, as the alien sun set, Hay sat in her garden watching play. Mr. Whiskers chased a flying insect, his body moving with the grace that had once defeated a trained hunter. The cat leaped, twisted in midair, and caught the insect in his paws. Success achieved, he returned to for praise. Hay thought about everything that had changed. The galaxy's view of humans, the understanding of Earth, the respect for creatures once dismissed as mere pets. But the most important thing hadn't changed. Was safe. Her family was together, and Mr. Whiskers was still just a cat who loved his boy and protected his home. Sometimes the smallest creatures teach the biggest lessons. Dr. Bo joined Hay in the garden. I heard from colleagues on Earth. They're planning a comprehensive study of domestic animals and their capabilities. Your cat started a scientific revolution. Hay laughed. Mr. Whiskers would be very unimpressed. He's more interested in dinner than fame. That's what makes him perfect. He's not trying to be anything special. He just is. They watched as and the cat played in the fatting light. The boy giggled as Mr. Whiskers pounced on a leaf. Such a normal scene, such an ordinary moment. Yet it represented something extraordinary. Two species from Earth, living on an alien world, finding joy in each other's company. A boy and his cat, connected by bonds that transcended words or logic. Across the galaxy, millions of beings now understood what humans had always known. The creatures from Earth were remarkable not because they were fierce, but because they could be both fierce and gentle. They could hunt and love. They could fight and protect. They could be predators and friends. This was Earth's true gift to the galaxy, not weapons or technology, but the understanding that strength comes in many forms. That power without compassion is meaningless, that the best guardians are those who love what they protect. The stars came out above Harmony Station, familiar constellations mixed with alien patterns. Hay breathed the recycled air and felt grateful, not just for survival but for understanding, not just for safety but for family. Mr. Whiskers meowed, wanting his dinner. Hay smiled and went inside, followed by the cat. Behind them, the garden dome glowed softly in the darkness, a small piece of Earth surviving among the stars. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humans were survivors from a competitive world. Their pets were evolved hunters. Together, they were a force to respect. But to Hay, too, to everyone on Harmony Station, the lesson was simpler. Love protects, family matters, and sometimes a 10-pound cat is all you need to keep the darkness at bay. The story spread, the legend grew, and across countless worlds, children asked their parents for pets from Earth, wanting their own guardians, their own friends, their own piece of the death world that created such remarkable life. Humanity's reputation in the galaxy had changed forever, not as warriors or conquerors, but as the species that walked among predators and called them family. The species that came from a world so challenging it created excellence in everything. The species that chose peace but never forgot how to fight. All because a cat named Mr. Whiskers stood up when it mattered most. And that, the galaxy agreed, was the most human thing of all.